Hey, what's up, guys? Jake Hamilton here. I cannot believe what just happened. Yesterday, I reached out to John Boyega on Twitter just to ask him if he would have a Zoom interview with me for Star Wars Day, May the 4th, which is on Monday. And to my surprise, he actually said yes. And then to my even further surprise, he actually followed through with it and gave me not just a half hour of his time, but truly one of the most incredible, genuine, honest, heartfelt conversations I've ever had in my entire life. I hope you enjoy it. If you don't already, do me a favor before we get going. Go down, hit that subscribe button, turn on your notifications. That way you know every time I land a really cool interview during this social distancing and quarantine time. I'm doing my best to Zoom a lot of celebrities from home. We're getting some great people. And if you don't already, also follow me on Instagram at Jake's Takes. I have a lot of fun celebrity pictures and stories and stuff you'll want to see there. So subscribe on YouTube, follow me on Instagram at Jake's Takes, and enjoy my extended at-home interview with the great John Boyega.
Audio. Hey, dude.
What's up, man? How are you?
What's up? Look, I got the vest on for you today, dude.
Yes.
Oh,
I gotta keep it together and not swear because this has to go on TV. Otherwise, I would be swearing. How are you, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well. How's everyone safe? The family's good. Family's healthy.
Yeah, man. Family's good, man. Thank you for asking. How's everyone on your side?
Everyone's good, man. Chicago's going strong. We're here. We're stuck inside for at least another month. But
yeah.
dude, family's healthy, dog's healthy, girlfriend's healthy, so everyone's good.
What you asked for, mate?
Exactly. Very true. Well, it's so good to see you again. I cannot thank you enough for
Yeah,
doing
man.
that.
Good to see you, Nick.
Good to see you. So I'm going to start out talking about Monday, about Star Wars Day. This is your first Star Wars Day since kind of wrapping up the trilogy. So do you have traditions? Do you have things that you're going to be doing on Monday?
Yeah, definitely. I'm right now in my cinema room, so I've actually prepared the environment for Monday. I've got all my memorabilia.
What?
I've got Poe's helmet over there, and then I've got my blaster. I'm gonna have this on hand with me. I've got my vest on, and so I'm gonna wear that on Monday and go through all 9 movies until I'm done with them. Like literally Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, as long as it takes me to get through them. I'm just gonna be going through each movie.
What is
I
protocol?
even changed. Check this out. I even changed my light box.
What?
Yeah, to Force Awakens. It's all blue.
Ah.
Because I'm quarantining my sister, so we want to do it properly. Just because we're quarantined, we don't want to have to just kind of like sit down and be sad about the fact that we can't get out and go to a screening or something fun.
Yeah.
But with this, we just get to have fun at home and just do it the proper old school Star Wars fan way.
Is she joining you willingly, or are you forcing her to do it?
Nah, she wants to go in. I mean, we just got the Disney Plus in the UK, so we've been watching The Mandalorian. I think The Mandalorian was a good way in for her.
Yeah.
Because the type of storytelling. My sister is an empath, so she sees a baby Yoda, she sees people trying to kill it, and she's like, why?
It's game over.
It's game over.
It's game over. That damn Jason Sudeikis, man. Him as the stormtrooper banging on.
Man.
What is he doing?
That for me, I've enjoyed watching those. It's been really cool.
Yeah, I'm excited to see the new documentary they have coming out. But I want to talk to you about, I'd imagine this is probably not what you thought post-Star Wars life was going to be. This is not what we thought anything about life was going to be. But I'm curious, sort of having a few months sort of stepped away from the trilogy for a little bit, what's been the worst and best thing about post-Star Wars life?
I don't know. I think for me, honestly, it's been all good. Like I don't really see because my day-to-day life, obviously I'm not living with millions of fans all across the world. The only time I really get to see and interact with fans when I'm online, or but for most of it, for me, it's been great because I've been able to go home and ask that fundamental question that I couldn't answer throughout the 6 years, was what just happened to me? You know what I mean? It's like now I'm home and there's so much Star Wars memorabilia stuff. I've still got my audition scripts. I've still got like notes, like, for what time I'm supposed to get to the audition and schedules, and all of that stuff. So it's more of a time for me anyway, to just kind of like be a bit nostalgic and really take in the moments that I was able to enjoy. And then now I have time for family, so it's really, really a win-win.
So what would you say is the answer to that question? You said like answering the question, what just happened to me? Like how would you describe what the past few years have been?
Yeah, I don't even know how to describe it, if I'm being honest with you, because it's just so weird. But but it's just being a part of something that's just so much larger than life. And I still can't believe to today it's the original Star Wars. It's kind of like I didn't make a parody or like it was real, you know.
No, you are in, like you
In,
are as much a
I'm
part of
wearing
that
the
story.
best, man.
Yo, you got the best.
And I got the jacket upstairs. It ain't no thing. That set got emptied.
Do you have, I loved, I think in the behind the scenes footage of Force Awakens, you brought a giant Han Solo action figure for Harrison to sign. Can I see it?
The whole den.
Oh,
Literally, it's like a thing.
It's all of it.
I got everybody to sign that figure. I got everyone to sign the figure. And there's still a few names that I have to get. And I will get it. I just have ways of doing it, whether I need to print and paste or something.
Who do you have left?
I have Kelly Mary Tran, Naomi Aki I didn't get, and also Greg. I have
a feeling you'll be running into these people at some point in the coming years. Yeah,
absolutely.
So obviously after Rise of Skywalker, as much as it was on my top 10 list of the top 10 best films of last year, I absolutely loved it. And then, but the great thing about any movie is that you're left with like sort of debates and you're having, interesting questions with your friends. The big thing that Finn was going to scream at Rey, which was that I think JJ revealed that he was force sensitive. He didn't end up getting to say it. Are we meant to believe that Finn is a Jedi, or is it an implication that that there are more force sensitive people out there than we realize?
Yeah, I don't know specifically I don't know specifically if he is a Jedi. It just seems to me so much of Finn's life is a mystery in that sense. But I think definitely the main thing is that he's definitely force sensitive and was always strong in the force for a long time. The previous draft, it was actually a conversation between Rey and Finn. They actually talked it out. There was a scene where Rey already knew, like he had stopped her in the Falcon and was gonna let her know that he had the force. He had felt it ever since he left the First Order. Like that energy, that was the motivating factor, and he's known it for a very long time. And Rey, in that scene, Rey stopped him and said, Finn, I knew for a long time, like since the moment I met you, that you were strong with the force. I knew there was something about you. Maybe that would be, I don't even know if that's in the, did we even film? Yeah, we did film that.
Oh, so did you guys shoot that?
Yeah, I think we did. I can't remember. I think we did, but it was definitely like it was on the script. Where there was a conversation, and Rey had already kind of knew. But I guess maybe in chopping down time, getting straight to the point, how it goes. That was the way they decided to go with.
I think if you were to find a lot of old interviews with the original cast members back in the early 80s, whenever they finished that original trilogy, a lot of them would have expressed skepticism about coming back and doing a 7, 8, and 9, which obviously we ended up getting everybody, which was amazing. I know it's a big question to ask you now. Would you come back in 30 years? But 30 years from now, let's just talk hypothetically. If someone's knocking on your door going, we want to see where Finn is 30 years later, we want to bring you back for episode 10. Is that something that you could imagine 30 years from now you would be interested in?
Definitely. I'll definitely, because I loved working on Star Wars. I really loved the experience. And I always say, and people get surprised when I tweeted the other day saying there were some disappointments. But guys, it's kind of like my generation of actors are not the same as the generation of actors that came before us, who painted the whole experience to always be perfect and all that kind of stuff. It's kind of like the same way, your job ain't perfect, shit, my one ain't. You know what I mean? So it's like just having that relationship in itself and being able to express that to the fans has been something to me that it's been like a big major deal in being a part of this. And so coming back, I would be thinking about them. I'd be thinking about the fans. I'd be thinking about what they'd want to see. But this time, I'm sorry, I'd just be a bit more adamant about story. I'd be, and I think everybody would. I think even Oscar, even Daisy, I think everybody would be kind of like, if we're going to come back, then hopefully the story is worth us coming back, or maybe perhaps some new characters that we help and we facilitate, so whichever way, I'm open to the conversation, as long as it's Kathy and JJ and maybe someone else, if it's the team, then, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah. You mentioned, because I think if you love something, you also have to be able to admit that there are flaws. Like
Yeah,
I
not a big
love the
deal.
original trilogy, but I might point out, oh, about this aspect of it that I don't like.
Right.
You mentioned wanting to have more control of the story. Does that mean that there are aspects of the story of the original trilogy that maybe you just weren't a big fan of?
No, I just mean in terms of our films,
Yeah.
our trilogy, just
Yeah.
aspects, story wise, where I'm kind of like, but most of it was really wanting more, really. And I think that is also a good thing. There must have been something in place or something teased for us to be hungry for this side of the story, and the Finn being force sensitive has always been a thing, right? Because the first movies, he got the lightsaber, and that was a big thing, and the imaging, the marketing with that.
Mhm.
Um,
I have a signed poster from you hanging on my wall
oh
right
yeah,
now,
right,
and
right.
it's you holding. Yeah, it's great.
Right. So, but even though that was kind of dish, but that was more explored with Ray, but that was kind of never explored. So I think for me, I'm just like the fans. I'm just kind of like, well, you kind of put an interesting thought in my head,
Mhm.
fulfill that, So that's the
Yeah.
only thing that I would be story wise. I'd be like, can everyone get a story?
Yeah, I hear you. Dude. I
Yeah,
want to shift gears about the fact that you were able to work with so many unbelievable legends, with Harrison Ford and Carrie Fisher and Billy D. Williams.
yeah.
And a lot of times there's that scary, and I experience it too sometimes, where like the danger of meeting your heroes. Like I always get nervous every time I interview Harrison Ford. I always get nervous because it's like he's Han Solo, man. He's Indiana
Yeah.
Jones. I don't want him to not like me. Who
Oh
is
no.
the biggest, maybe the most different than you thought they were going to be based on your perceptions of characters they played going in?
Do you know what, man? I'm a bit of a weirdo. I think ever since I was coming up, I always thought that celebrities are not what they put out, because how can they be? They're on a red carpet, surrounded by press. So obviously behind the scenes, we might find that some celebrities that are, a bit more, extroverted, like myself. If you come on a day to day, most of the time I'm quiet. I'm just like kind of doing my own thing and a little bit much more reserved. So I mean, in looking at myself, I kind of always try to meet every individual kind of like on the basis of, even if people have met them before, I just meet them on the basis of whatever it is. But I can't lie, Billy D was as cool as I thought he was gonna be. Straight up, mate. It's not even a joke. Like Billy D, that cool.
Yeah, I didn't get to meet him because he only did a handful of interviews in Chicago at Celebration. But I was in that
Yeah,
line where I got to speak with you and Daisy and JJ
yeah.
and everybody. But just sort of seeing him walk in that room, you look at the man and you go, he's still got it, man.
I
He's
mean,
still got
first two movies, when I'm in my own, because we would rehearse scenes with us in our own clothes before we changed to our costumes. So
Yeah.
we'd be on the resistance space in our own clothes, and I'd wear something, every day Daisy'd be commenting about what I'm wearing. So every day I'm kind of like, let me wear something different for her.
it.
I was the top man in terms of the swag and the color. Everybody knows that. But when Billy D
Until?
walked on that set, man, I had to take that second place. Man. And you know what?
If you're going to take second place to anybody,
yeah,
though.
exactly, right? I would have
Yeah.
taken third. Look, listen, it's Billy D, man.
Because with JJ, you're going to get what? You're going to get the black shirt and you're going to get the glasses. Like there's a standard.
AJ there to work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like his money's in the bank.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's
I
there
got
to
it.
work. So,
Yeah, he learned from that Spielberg school of thought.
That Spielberg school. Buy the island, but don't buy the clothes.
Of course, yeah, exactly, exactly. Smart man. As much as I loved seeing you, like you and the chemistry that you had with Harrison Ford was amazing. I would have loved to have seen Finn and Luke together. Was there ever?
Man.
I mean, story wise, I guess logistically, it just really wouldn't have worked out. The closest you guys got was on Crate.
Yeah,
I'm just curious. What do you think that Finn Luke interaction would have been like?
I think the motivation, kind of maybe if it was explored, the motivation would have been why Finn made this drastic decision to leave the First Order in this way, and what was he feeling? Because at the time he would have been dealing a lot with his morality, and what team on what side does he fight for, and that's something that obviously at the end he kind of figured it out with the help of Ray, but in terms of significant specific help, in my head, I think Finn would have gained a lot from even following Ray and doing training with her, and being by her side, and kind of maybe he would have been much more adamant about being with her and about protecting her, and maybe that training wouldn't be for him. But then, after a while, he'd start to develop at least a sense of what side he'd fight for, and Luke would be one of the major characters to inspire that of him, and probably the character to tell him that, in all the history, throughout all the empire, throughout all the wars I fought, we have never seen a stormtrooper change and defect deflect in this way. So that would have been cool for Finn to know and to motivate him on his journey.
Oh, I just got chills thinking about that. That would, okay,
Man, I
that would
got
have been.
ideas for days,
Yeah,
man.
see, that's
I got
why we got to
ideas
bring
for
you
days.
back, man.
They need to let me direct it, man. Come on,
Let's
now,
go. Let's go.
Oh, Republic, let's go.
God, could you imagine seeing your name directed by John Boyega, and right when that music swells at the end, you know, when you get the iris in there?
All I'm saying, man, I think the fans would dig what I do with that. That'd be fun.
I'm in, dude. You know, one thing that's that the past few years in the 7, 8, and 9 taught me was just really how little I have things figured out, because there would be moments where I was like, I know where this is going. I got this. I got theory A, B, C, D, and E, and they're all going to come true. And then none of them would come true. What is the fan theory that you heard between 7 and 9 where you just sort of paused and went, that's the stupidest ass thing I've ever heard in my entire life?
Oh, and it came true?
Oh, whoa, if it came true, that's all the more impressive.
Yeah, that is impressive. Dark Ray.
Someone called that?
Ray. Dark Ray. There were I saw concept artists at the end of episode 7 doing drawings for like a dark version of Ray, or a story in which she turned, because that was always for me anyway, although you don't want to tell the Vader story so much, but there's something about a character having so much promise and turning around and killing everyone that I was kind of like, you know, there's never going to be a version of that. Never. It's like, it's just so much hope in her, so much strength as a Jedi. So that's never going to happen. It's Dark Ray in 9. I was like,
and then we got that shot of her with the lights. Oh, it was killer. Oh, I
think there was some talk about wanting to explore that a bit more anyway. Yeah. So the fans were definitely, they were on point.
They were into that. Another fan theory or hope or whatever you want to call it that fans were into, Finn and Poe. The dream that maybe Finn and Poe were actually going to end up together, and then I'm just curious about, like, if you and Oscar were aware of that. Is it something that, like, you kind of thought was, you know, like a fun idea, or is it just sort of like what were your thoughts about that?
I think the first thing is that they didn't really. I don't think anybody really deeped our chemistry until maybe when we had that original audition, you know, when he came in, because I think Oscar was a name that they were considering for a while. I mean, I don't even know why the guy had to audition, but the chemistry was so great that I think that idea came from the fans, to be honest. There wasn't a conversation about it during episode 7. Literally, you know, even when Oscar does the mouth bite and I think what you're seeing there is what the love between me and Oscar in real life, which is our intense bromance. But then obviously in a franchise, when people are kind of like, oh, actually that's a possibility. Then we started thinking, oh, that could be a possibility. But then obviously it just wasn't going in that direction. It just wasn't. But we would play it up. We did a little bit. We would take it.
Not to 11, but like to 7 or 8.
But just think about it, you know.
Yeah.
The hugs, the hugs will, you know, the hand on the back of the neck. You know, I'm like, okay, Oscar, you're giving them a little nugget, and he'd be out there just give him just a little bit. Just a little
bit. I love it.
So the fans maybe that wanted Finn Poe can believe that, you know, whatever happened in the trilogy, maybe perhaps something will happen in the future. Who knows?
Yeah. Fair enough. I want to talk about, and I want to start in a positive way first. I want to talk about your relationship with the fans online. And I want to start with the people that you hear that genuinely love this trilogy, that are heartfelt and thank you for it. And I want to talk about what that means to you to have that positive relationship and be able to talk to people that want to say thank you online, or want to, you know, like give you, you know, compliments on Finn and the trilogy. What is your relationship with those people?
It's cool because the way you differentiate anyway is that most people who come and say thank you, or most people who come and say, you know what, dude, I didn't really like it, but thank you as an actor for all your work and for entertaining us. Those who have that understanding and that balance probably understand what filmmaking is like, and probably are big fans of the franchise, that they watch the B-rolls behind the scenes. You know, they know what the process is like. They probably know how long it took to shoot. They know where we were at. They know what goes into it. So on a basic level, they're kind of like, look, dude, you know, some creative choices I didn't like, but thank you. Like, I love having those conversations and those interactions, because, you know, that's what Star Wars is about. It's like, I feel like it's kind of a mirror of what we love anyway. There's so many different conflicts and opinions in the actual Star Wars universe. You know, not everybody agrees, but they're still in this. And I think that I, at the same time, am able to identify those who are positive about it and cool, you know, and just respectful, and it's fun and it's fine. And I meet them on the streets too. And I always get different types of people from old to young, or from so many different backgrounds. So it's each of it is its own experience.
On the flip side of that, just by nature of putting yourself on social media, on Twitter and on Instagram, you're opening yourself up to, you know, like, and I don't want to like refer to them as trolls, because I don't want to be, you know, I don't want to dismiss.
Yeah, they're not all trolls.
Yeah, they're not all, but for people that are maybe cross a line in terms, because you use the word respect, which I think is an important word. For people that maybe cross that line or just combative with you, you don't hold back. You initiate, and
I let them know. Look, one thing about me, man, I ain't no Disney boy, man. Like, you know, my first movie was Attack the Block. You know, that was
coming up on 10 years, baby.
So I think one thing people do get twisted is they think I'm Finn. I'm not Finn. Like, if it was John playing John in Star Wars, best know I would have caught that lightsaber and put in the work. Do you know what I mean? I'm a bit more. My personality, for even fans that follow me and don't even agree with every response I have, know that I'm not I ain't no Disney kid. Like, I come from a real solid background. I'm an African man, and sometimes if you talk that mess, we gotta let you know what's going on.
Fair enough. I mean, you know, but I do respect you for being real on social media. It's not, man, you don't use
like, look, man, we can't go through this life pretending. It's so boring. And one thing I promised myself as an actor, that I'd never handle fame with pretense. It's long, it's boring. It means that I have to, just to give everyone an understanding, it means that I have to always cater myself to suit the public's, you know, happiness and to suit their needs. And as you guys know, the same way you couldn't do that to the whole world, nobody can. So the whole concept is that it was all a lie in the first place. So let's just be real. Just an actor.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, man. A few more questions, and I'm going to cut you loose because I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think the one thing, I never really get to do this because I never really get to talk to people after a movie comes out. We can openly talk about it. But like, are you guys, you and Daisy and Oscar and everybody, like, are you guys aware that you guys made 3 great Star Wars movies? Like, doesn't matter who you talk to. We're all going to have a complaint here or a complaint there, or a problem here, a problem there. But like, you guys gave us episodes 7, 8, and 9, something that as a child, I never thought I was ever going to have. Like, are you guys, at the end of the day, with whatever complaints or whatever you hear from critics or fans or whatever, are you aware that you guys made 3 great Star Wars movies?
I think it's a different process for each of us. I think Oscar's an OG. He's been through this, you know, many a times. But I think the process that has been, you know, Rocky is always been me and Daisy being at the forefront of this, whether it's been through, you know, you're the face of something. So, you know, sometimes fans don't even know that you're not the person to even be talking to if you don't like a good. I don't write the movies. I don't produce them. I don't make the choices. I kind of say my lines and I go home. So it's like, we have those thoughts, but at the same time, for me specifically, if only 5 people enjoyed Finn in Star Wars and their life changed from that perspective, for me, just because of the way my setup is, like, I'm so happy with that. And I know it's more than 5. So when I meet people and I see them dress up at Halloween, I'm seeing fans who liked it, disliked it, still reaching out and saying, you know, because some people, Daisy's not on social media, so they reach out to me and say, you know, tell Daisy we love her, tell Daisy, you know, that she done an incredible job. And I tell her that too, because she really, really did. Like, you know, as much as we all want to say shoulda, coulda, wouldas, you know, how much of the fans can really go up there and play a Jedi?
Yeah.
All them flips, swing the lightsaber. Come on, you know.
Did I have a lightsaber? And I know I look stupid as hell whenever I'm like running around.
She put in the work. And also when she came into this, she really, really respected the fans in the sense of not wanting, her not knowing about Star Wars to be at the forefront. She was just kind of like, I'm a blank slate and I'm going to train. She trained harder than anybody. She put in the work. Like, you'd be leaving and Daisy still, she's being Rey in real life. She's devoted to that cause. And I think we remember that. And for me anyway, the positive fans will always be louder. Always be louder.
Good. That's good. That helps me sleep at night, as weird as it sounds.
Oh yeah, man.
And as we
wrap up, I still got all this stuff, mate.
I know. As we wrap up, I'm gonna have you tour me around really. But I want to ask one more question, which is, I saw so many interviews with you guys at the junket for 7, in which everyone was asking, like, what advice did the original guys give you? Like, what did you hear from Harrison? What did you hear from Carrie? What did you hear from Mark? But at this point, like, you have your own trilogy under your belt. if they bring in a new generation of actors for 10, 11, and 12, what advice would you give them?
Just to have fun. Just to have fun. It's going to be a rush, a big ride, a huge life change. Have fun through the process. Keep your family and friends close. Make sure your mental health is always taken care of. When it comes to the negativity, just think of it like this. You'd rather them be saying, you'd rather your fans or people that even are negative about you, you'd rather them say something, because you got cast in Star Wars.
Yeah.
So of course you're going to get bad, you're going to get good. That's what Star Wars is about. But you are official. You're a part of it.
Yeah.
Enjoy it and have fun. It's all right.
That's awesome, dude. That's all.
Yeah.
I cannot thank you enough for doing this.
Whenever
we were texting back and forth, I told you the story about how you stopped for me and my friend at the world premiere. We were being pulled in 10,000 different directions. You didn't have to do that, but a little moment like that says a lot about somebody. As we wrap up, can you just show me a few of the things on your shelf?
Guys, yeah. So we got the red helmet. This is what J.J. Abrams gave to me as a gift. Red helmet.
So you didn't lift it like these things.
I didn't lift these. Okay. I got a couple I lifted, but that's in the trap house. But anyway, and then there's the helmet, the X-wing helmet. I don't know if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
So that's for my boy. I was actually cleaning and doing some dusting, and I saw that there, and I started kind of like tearing up because I miss Oscar. I really, really do. And then there's Finn's.
Yes.
The big guy. The big boy.
Dude, you're living in my dream room. And honestly, like even your walls have like a Millennium Falcon look to it.
Yeah, man. We've got the stars up. I
got the stars?
Yeah. And I've even got a Porg. I've got a lovely Porg over here.
Did you build that?
Lego sent it to me after I tweeted that I hated Porgs. Can you imagine? And it weighs so much. It's so heavy. And that
is like actually big.
Yeah, it's a big ass Lego Porg that they gave me. I can't send it back.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
I've actually, and I know since we've been stuck inside, I've been thinking about getting the Lego Millennium Falcon, but I can't justify dropping $1,000 on that. Like, yeah, I've looked at it a few times and almost hit add to cart, but I can't do it.
Dude, I can't justify dropping $1,000 on that either. I can't lie.
A lie. You're Finn. They should just send it to you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But at the same time, dropping $1,000 on that's a lot of investment. I'm going to have to build it the day after.
Yeah. Hey, man, seriously, I don't want to take up any more of your time. I cannot thank you enough for all the happiness you've given us over the last few years. And I cannot wait to, hopefully we see you another Pacific Rim film. And Attack the Block turns 10 next year. So hopefully we can talk about that. But you're a good guy. You're a good man.
And fans, man, all fans all around the world, you've been amazing to us. You make us happy each and every day. All of you, love you so much. And thank you for putting me in this position and for just making this an amazing time. Thank you, guys.
Dude, stay safe. Your family, stay safe, stay healthy. And we'll talk soon, man.
All right, man. May the 4th be with you, dude.
All right. Yes, sir. You too.
All right.
All right. Bye.